Right now, while you're watching this, an invisible war is happening inside the order books of every major exchange. Millions of decisions are being made in milliseconds. Positions are being hedged, stops are being hunted, and whales are moving sides without leaving a footprint. Most people think they're trading against other people. They aren't. You are trading against silicon. You are trading against algorithms that don't sleep, don't feel fear, and don't make mistakes. In this course, we aren't just going to learn about these systems, we are going to build one. We are going to move through the complete stack. First is the brain. We're going to be wiring Claude to OpenRouter for institutional grade model access. Second, the eyes. We will be installing the Hyperliquid whale tracker to see smart money in real time, and the TradingView MCP to let Claude read your charts directly. Third, the hands, where we will be connecting WEEX, Alpaca, and interactive brokers for multi-market execution. Fourth, the workforce, where we will be deploying agent frameworks like Senpi, Hermes, and OpenClaw, specialists that hunt for alpha while you sleep. Fifth is the command center, where we will be shipping a custom Python bot to a 24/7 VPS and unifying everything into a live ops dashboard. By the time we're done, you won't be staring at 12 browser tabs and second guessing your entries. You'll be an operator. You'll wake up to a daily alpha brief waiting in your inbox, a bot managing your risk, and a system that finally puts you on the right side of the silicon war. Let's get into it. AI is already a big part of trading cryptocurrency, not in theory, not in some lab somewhere. Live, on-chain, and verifiable. There's a bot on Polymarket with a wallet address named Sovereign2013. That turned $1 into $3.3 million using AI. That's not a headline I made up. You can look it up on chain right now. This course is built on the blueprint established by pioneers like Jake Nesler, who let Claude Code run a live trading stack with $100,000 of real capital. Every prompt, every drawdown, and every winning trade was documented. It proved a vital point. When you give an agent the wheel, it doesn't just help you trade, it is the trader. We are generalizing that exact stack here, add in 3 specific skills, 5 agent frameworks, and Claude routines to create a system that doesn't just survive the market, but masters it. And on Hyperliquid, an experiment called the Alpha Arena took the biggest AI models in the world, Qwen, DeepSeek, Claude, GPT, Grok, and Gemini, gave each of them $10,000, and let them trade live perpetuals against each other. The results were not even close. Some of these models that millions of people are using right now to make trading decisions, lost the majority of their account in 4 days, and one of them did the complete opposite. AI-powered bots now account for roughly 70 to 80% of all crypto volume. If you are still trading manually, you are not competing with other retail traders anymore. You are the liquidity. You are the other side of the trade that the AI is taking. That is not me trying to scare you. That is just what is happening right now. And here's the thing. The tools that are creating this gap are not locked behind a hedge fund. They are not expensive. They are not complicated. Claude costs $20 a month. The Hyperliquid API is completely free and public. TradingView you probably already have. Telegram you already have on your phone. The gap is not about access. The gap is about knowing how to put it together. This is the complete zero to hero course for AI trading with Claude. I'm not going to give you theory. I'm not going to show you a demo that looks impressive, but falls apart the moment you try to replicate it. Everything I show you today, I have built and run myself. This is what you should expect, the exact contract for the next 2.5 hours. Real money, every tool. Claude plus OpenRouter, which gives you the key for every model. 3 skills live. WEEX Trader, Whale Tracker, and TradingView MCP. 3 brokers connected, WEEX, Alpaca, and interactive brokers. Polymarket plus Kalshi prediction markets. Claude routines automating your entire trading day. Agent PNL plus Senpi plus Hermes plus OpenClaw all deployed. Custom Python bot on Hosting running 24/7. Telegram bot in your pocket. Custom dashboard tracking it all. Nothing skipped. Every command on screen. If you already code, skim. If you don't, then we're going to open a terminal together. Let's go. Before I show you anything, I need to say something that most AI trading videos will never tell you. Because if you come into this with the wrong expectation, you are going to get hurt. Here is what AI is genuinely good at. Writing code, building backtest scaffolding, synthesizing news from 10 different sources into one clean summary, sentiment analysis, reading a chart screenshot and giving you a structured technical breakdown, journaling your trades and finding patterns in your own data, risk logic, and turning a plain English strategy idea into working Pine script in under a minute. All of that. Claude does better than any human working alone. Faster, more consistently, and without getting tired at 2 in the morning. Here is what AI is bad at. Price prediction. Full stop. Claude cannot tell you where Bitcoin is going tomorrow. Nobody can. And any tool that claims it can is lying to you, replacing your judgment. The market will always throw situations that no model has seen before. Black swan events, coordinated manipulation, macro shocks. AI has no edge in those moments. You do. And hallucinations. Claude will occasionally state something confidently that is completely wrong. A price that does not exist. A ticker that is not real. A statistic it invented. It does not happen constantly, but it happens. You always verify the critical data points yourself. So here's the one rule I want you to carry through this entire course. Claude is a research assistant with execution hands, not an oracle. It does the work faster than you can. It catches things you would miss. It runs while you sleep. But it does not replace your judgment. It extends it. Keep that in your head and everything I show you today will make sense. Forget it and you will eventually hand an AI your account and wonder what happened. This course makes you capable of executing faster, not capable of predicting markets. Trade small until your own P&L proves otherwise. Now, before we get a deep dive into the course, here's what you need on your desk before you start. First, a laptop or a computer, Mac, Windows 11, or any modern Linux distro, with at least 8 gigabytes RAM minimum, but a 16 gigabytes is recommended. Any CPU from the last 5 years is fine. Second is any reasonable internet connection. You're not streaming, you're making API calls. A cafe hotspot works. Third is at least 2.5 hours of your time. You can do it in chunks, but the install spine that covers from modules 3 to 11 will benefit you from one continuous block. Fourth, a credit card for a few optional charges. Some tools needs to be paid like $5 for OpenRouter credit, $5 for Firecrawl, Hostinger VPS, which is around $5 to $8 per month, Railway for Senpi, which is $5 per month after 30-day trial. Everything else is free tier. Before we dive into the modules, let's get your digital workspace organized. You'll want these apps open, signed in, and ready on your desktop. First, terminal. Any modern terminal will do. iTerm for Mac, Windows Terminal, PowerShell, or your default Linux terminal. You'll be pasting commands here starting from Module 3. Second, browser. You'll use this to sign in to Claude, OpenRouter, Polymarket, and other essential platforms. Third, cursor. You'll need this code editor to view and edit Markdown, .md files, Python, .py files, and dashboard HTML as the course progresses. Fourth, phone. Keep your phone handy for Telegram. You'll need it for the integration steps once we start working with Botfather. Now for the first module, we will talk about foundation. Before we open the terminal, we need to align on the mental model. Most retail traders fail with AI because they only use it for one thing, asking for a strategy. That's 5% of the capability. To win, we install AI into all 3 layers of the trading system. First is research. This is finding the edge. We're talking about tracking hyperliquid whales, using Firecrawl to scrape the open web for sentiment, and generating a daily alpha brief that compresses thousands of data points into the 3 things that actually matter. Second is strategy. This is turning that edge into rules. We use the TradingView MCP, which gives Claude 78 specific tools to auto-build Pine script, run backtests, and look for multi-time frame confluence. Third is execution. This is moving capital. We use the WEEX Trading Assistant skill to execute orders, use TradingView to send commands via Webhook, set agentic risk management, and deploy custom bots on Hostinger that stay online 24/7. The edge isn't just one of these, it's the connection between them. Now, AI isn't magic, it's a force multiplier. It gives you 4 specific advantages that any retail trader can now rent for pennies. Reading speed, it reads 100 filings while you read one. You can give a model 300 documents and it will return the outliers in 30 seconds for about 25 cents. Production code, it writes professional grade Python. We're talking CCXT wrappers and SQLite journals that pass every check and run live on the first try. Pattern recognition, our whale tracker can scan 33,000 wallets in 90 seconds. It sorts every profitable trader by P&L and sentiment while you're still refreshing a tab. Uptime, You sleep, the bot doesn't. Your system services and Claude routines run forever. This is an autonomous stack that earns while you're offline. Now, before we get into the tools, let me quickly demystify terms you're going to hear constantly in this space. Because if you do not know what these mean, some of this is going to feel more complicated than it actually is. Let's define them now so we don't slow down later. MCP, the Model Context Protocol. Think of it like a USB-C port for Claude. It lets us plug in any broker, chart, or data source. OpenRouter, this is our unified gateway, one API key that gives us access to Claude, GPT, Gemini, and DeepSeek with automatic fallback. Claude has what Anthropic calls skills. Think of them like apps you install on your phone. Someone builds a skill for Hyperliquid whale tracking. You install it. Now Claude can do that automatically without you writing a single line of code. I'm going to show you how to use these later in the course. API, which means Application Programming Interface. This is the machine-readable door that connects Claude directly to WEEX, Alpaca, interactive brokers, TradingView, everything. VPS, your virtual private server. A Linux box we rent for a few dollars a month so your bot lives in the cloud, not just on your laptop. Routines, Anthropic's cloud-hosted tasks. You schedule a prompt and it runs on their infrastructure even when your laptop is closed. Agents, software that loops. It plans, acts, observes, and replans. We'll be deploying 5 different frameworks, including Senpi, Hermes, and OpenClaw. Prediction markets, places like Polymarket and Kalshi. LLMs are shockingly good here because they compress massive amounts of context to predict real-world outcomes. The skills thesis and why this course leans heavily on Claude skills. Most people think prompt engineering is the secret. It's not. A skill is a folder. Inside is a specialized file that teaches Claude a whole domain, every command, every edge case, and every safe default. By dropping 3 specific skills into the system, Claude suddenly knows how to trade WEEX perps, track Hyperliquid whales, and control your TradingView desktop with 78 built-in tools. No manual coding required, no prompt engineering, just plug-and-play capability. These are the Lego bricks. Now, let's go build the stack. Now, the second module covers the complete AI trading stack. This is the one-page map. Every tool, every broker, every agent platform, and every skill. If some name sounds unfamiliar right now, don't worry. Every single box on this map gets its own dedicated installation module later. Right now, I want you to see how the Lego blocks fit together. 1. Models plus OpenRouter. Everything starts with a key. We use OpenRouter because it gives us one single API key to access over 300 models. No vendor lock-in. If Anthropic goes down, we fall back to DeepSeek or Quinn in 1 second. Now Claude has 3 different models, all with different strengths for different output. First is Claude Opus 4.7. This is the flagship of Anthropic made for heavy strategy design, code review, and polymarket analyzer reasoning. Second is Claude 4.6 Sonnet. This model will be our workhorse. 90% of this course runs on it. Third is Claude Haiku 4.5. This is for the cheap labor. This is mostly used for classifying news, triaging routines, and classification of takes for pennies. Other models include GPT, Gemini, and DeepSeek. You can swap these into your configuration at any time without changing your routines. This is incredibly useful for skeptic panel reviews, where you have multiple models critique a trade idea before you pull the trigger. Next is Quinn and Kimmy. These are your long context open models. If you need to ingest a 100-page 10K filing or summarize massive log files on a budget, these are your go-to tools. Also with OpenRouter, you can even set your model to auto. This tells the system to automatically choose the cheapest, most capable model available for the specific task you're running. It's the ultimate way to optimize your overhead while keeping your Hermes and OpenClaw agents running 24/7. All right, before we touch a single terminal, you need to understand what Claude actually is. There are 3 versions you need to know about. The first is Claude.ai. This is the browser version. Think of it as the research assistant. You paste in a chart screenshot, a news article, a token contract. It reads it and gives you a structured breakdown. No code, no setup. Just open a tab and go. The second is Claude Desktop with Cowork. This is where it gets agentic. Cowork does not just talk, it acts. It can open apps on your computer, read and edit files, run scheduled tasks, and remember context across sessions. So it knows what you told it yesterday. It knows your trading setup. It works in the background while you are doing something else. The third is Claude Code. This is the most powerful version. It is a command line tool that writes, runs, and iterates code autonomously. This is what built the trading bots I'm going to show you later. This is what connects to your exchange and executes real trades. Now let's talk about where the money actually moves. We connect to 3 primary brokers, plus prediction markets, plus the CCXT library for everything else. First is WEEX. This is our primary crypto broker. It's no KYC, offers a massive deposit bonus, and most importantly, it has a V3 API built specifically for AI integration. It handles futures and spot in one account. Second is Alpaca. This is your home for US stocks and options. It's commission-free and has the best Python SDK in the game. It even has an official MCP server for Claude desktop. Third is Interactive Brokers. This is for the pros. If you're trading global markets, bonds, or CFDs, this is the requirement. We use the IB and Sync Python library for pro-grade execution. We're also hitting prediction markets, which is where that $3 million bot lives I mentioned earlier. The first one is Polymarket. This is the global giant for crypto-funded event betting. Kalshi, which is the US regulated alternative for Polymarket. PMXT. This is a unified SDK that lets us arbitrage between Polymarket and Kalshi. If the same event has different prices on Polymarket and Kalshi, the AI locks in the profit automatically. And for everything else, we have CCXT. This is the universal translator for over 100 exchanges. It's how we talk to Binance for backtesting and Blowfin as a low latency backup and a great WEEX alternative. Finally, there's Hyperliquid. It has a free public API that requires no key for data reads. This is where our whale tracker skill pulls live data to see what the biggest fish in the pond are doing. With this course, you aren't just getting one bot, you're getting 5 different frameworks, where each does one thing better than the others. Most power users run a combination of these to cover every corner of the market. First is Asian P&L. This is the easiest entry point. It's a plain English WEEX perpetuals agent. You can go from copy-paste to live trading in under 2 minutes. It even has a public leaderboard so you can see how your logic stacks up. Second is Senpi. This is your personal trading powerhouse for Hyperliquid. It comes with 44 specialized MCP tools and is battle tested with over $100 million in volume. Under the hood, it's powered by OpenClaw. Third is Hermes. Developed by Noose Research, this Python-based framework is a beast with 95,000 stars on GitHub. It's self-improving, meaning it generates reusable skills from every successful task. It's also your gateway to Telegram, Discord, and Slack. Fourth is OpenClaw. This is the heavyweight of the ecosystem with 345,000 stars. Built on TypeScript and Node.js, it has the broadest integration possible, over 50 channels and 13,000 community skills via ClawHub. Fifth is Claude Routines. These are Anthropic's cloud-hosted scheduled tasks. This is how your logic stays alive and running even when your laptop is closed. You don't have to choose just one. We're going to install all 5 and you'll pick the combination that fits your specific trading style. Finally, we drop 3 super skills directly into your Claude code. This is the unfair advantage of this course. Whale Tracker, real-time Hyperliquid whale research with 0 API keys. TradingView MCP, 78 tools that let Claude literally control your TradingView desktop, scanning charts and writing PineScript for you. WEEX Trading Assistant that lets you execute trades all in plain English. Individually, these tools are powerful. Combined, they create the Daily Alpha Brief, where your AI tracks the whales, reads the charts, checks your portfolio, and hands you the day's setups on a silver platter. Study the map on this page. Bookmark the labels you don't know. Let's start plugging them in, which is exactly what we're going to do in the next module. In this module, we are installing every essential tool you'll need throughout the course. 5 installs. 5 verify commands and 1 project folder. This is the foundation. Every module that follows assumes this setup is perfectly in place. If you skip a step here, the bots won't run, the API won't connect, and you'll be troubleshooting code instead of trading markets. We're going to open 5 tabs and install these in order. Let's get to work. First is Python 3.12 or higher. Go to python.org. Click on Download Python. Once the installer is downloaded, a pop-up will appear. Click on Install Python and click Yes to accept the terms. If you're on Windows, this is the most important part. Tick the box that says Add Python to Path during the install. If you miss that, nothing else works. If you're on Mac and have Homebrew, you can type the install command from the notes below instead. Second is node.js. Get the LTS version from nodejs.org. This is the engine for our MCP servers, and the OpenClaw framework will deploy later. Choose your operating system. Since I'm using Windows, I'll select the Windows installer. Accept the license agreement, then click Next until the installation is complete. Third is Git. Download it from git-scm.com. We'll be using this to clone or copy the trading skills and bot repositories directly to your machine. Just accept the default settings during the install. Fourth is Cursor. This is our command center. Go to cursor.com. It's an AI native editor that allows Claude to actually see your code files. Click on Download in the upper right corner. Accept the agreement, then click Next until it installs. Fifth is your terminal. If you're on Mac, use the built-in terminal or iTerm2. On Windows, use Windows Terminal from the Microsoft Store and always select the PowerShell tab. Never use the old cmd.x. Once you can open PowerShell, you're done. Now, let's create your Trading AI folder. This keeps the course clean and ensures Claude knows exactly where to look. Open your terminal and type the command on the screen. Everything we build from this point forward, every skill, every config file, goes inside this folder. Before we move to Module 4, we need 3 green lights. Type these into your terminal one by one. Pi-dash version. This must be 3.12 or higher. Node dash version. You're looking for V22 or higher. Git dash version. Anything in the 2.4 range is perfect. If you get a command not found error for Python on Windows, it's because you didn't tick that Add to Path box. Don't fight it, just rerun the installer. If Node isn't showing up, close your terminal completely and reopen it to refresh the system. If you see those version numbers, you are officially ready. Your computer is no longer just a laptop. It's a high-frequency workstation. Take a breath. Close your browser tabs. In the next module, we are installing Claude Code and wiring up your OpenRouter master key. Let's get into it. In this module, we are installing Claude Desktop, the Claude Code CLI, and signing up for OpenRouter. By the end of this module, you will have one master key that points Claude at over 300 different AI models, with Sonnet 4.6 as your default workhorse and Opus 4.7 for the heavy lifting. First, go to Claude.ai. I highly recommend the Pro plan for $20 a month. It unlocks Claude Code and gives you the usage caps you need to actually trade. If you're planning on running whale alerts and risk checks 24/7, the Max plan is the move. Once you've picked a plan, download Claude Desktop. Keep it pinned to your taskbar. Later in the course, we're going to plug our MCP servers directly into this app so Claude can see your charts and files. Now, open that terminal we set up in from the last module. We are installing Claude Code. This is the command line interface where 70% of this course happens. Copy the install command from the notes below. If you see v2.x, you're live. Go ahead and type Claude to run it for the first time. It will give you a link to your browser. Just sign in with your Pro account to authenticate. Next, OpenRouter.ai. Sign up, then on the dashboard, click on Get API Keys and create a new key named Trading AI Course. Copy that string starting with SK or V1. Save it in a password manager immediately. Never paste this key into a public GitHub or chat room. This key is essentially a credit card for AI models. If you leak it, bots will drain your credits in seconds. Go to credits and add a minimum of $5. At our scale, that will last you weeks of Sonnet usage. Now we have to tell Claude Code to use OpenRouter instead of talking to Anthropic directly. This gives us the fallback protection if one provider goes down. We need to create a settings file. In your terminal, you're going to create a folder called .claude and a file called settings.json. Inside that file, you're going to paste the configuration block from the course notes. Replace the placeholder text with your actual OpenRouter key. This tells the system, use OpenRouter as the base URL and use Sonnet 4.6 as my primary model. Now, a quick alternative if you want to keep things simple. If you prefer to use direct Anthropic billing and don't care about the multi-model fallback, you can skip OpenRouter entirely. It's a great fallback to keep in your back pocket, and you can always switch between the two later as your stack grows. Let's verify the wiring. Go back to your terminal, enter your trading folder and type Claude. Once inside, ask it, what model are you running on? Reply with the full model ID. If it says Anthropic/Claude 4.6 or Opus 4.7 and via OpenRouter, you have successfully built an AI workstation that can think across any model on the planet. Finally, we're going to create a file called Claude.md in your project root. This is Claude's persistent memory. Paste the house rules from the notes into this file. This ensures that every time you open Claude, it remembers your brokers, your risk limits, and your goal. And this is how you execute faster and trade smarter with Alex Carter. Now, the brain is online. In the next module, we will start connecting it to the exchanges. Now for this module, we will connect Claude to WEEX, which is our primary crypto broker. We're using WEEX because it is built for this specific type of AI automation. It has a V3 API that's incredibly stable. It offers a $30,000 deposit bonus for new accounts, and it allows you to get live in about 90 seconds with no KYC required for initial trading. Full transparency, we partner with WEEX. We chose them because their API doesn't choke when an AI agent like Claude starts firing multiple requests per second. If for any reason WEEX doesn't work in your region, don't panic. This entire course is CCXT compatible, meaning you can swap WEEX for Binance or Kraken with a single line of code, in which we will cover later on this course. First, use the VIP link in the notes below to sign up. Use a strong, unique password. Verify your email and make sure that VIP code is attached so you qualify for the trading credits. Before you touch the API, you must enable two-factor authentication. Go to Account, then Security, and turn on Google Authenticator. WEEX will not even allow you to create API keys without this. Save your backup codes offline. If you lose your phone and your backup codes, you'd lose the account. Period. Now fund your wallet. Click on Deposit. I recommend using USDT via the Polygon or TRC20 networks. They have the lowest fees. Once the funds land, transfer them from your spot wallet to your futures wallet. Our AI agents trade out of the futures wallet by default. Never fund more than you are comfortable losing. Remember, most retail derivatives accounts lose money. Start small. Now let's create the machine's credentials. Go to API Management and create a new key. Label it AI Trading Bot. You must tick these three boxes and only these three. First is read, so the AI can see your balance. Second is trade via spot or futures, so the AI can execute orders. Third is IP, whitelist. This is non-negotiable. If you see a withdrawal box, never enable it. If your API key ever leaks and withdrawal is enabled, your funds are gone. By whitelisting your current IP address, you ensure that even if someone steals your key, it physically won't work from any other computer but yours. WEEX is going to give you three values: an API key, an API secret, and a passphrase. WEEX shows that secret exactly once. If you close the window before saving it, you have to delete the key and start over. Copy all three and put them straight into your password manager. Do not put them in a text file. Do not email them to yourself. You now have a funded account, 2 FAs live, and you have your 3 credentials tucked away in a secure spot. In Module 8, we're going to drop these into Claude and let the agent take its first look at the markets. But first, we need to handle your equity and global markets, which we will cover in the next module. Now in this module, we're moving into the heart of the US markets. We use Alpaca because it is, quite simply, the only broker that makes Claude-driven trading trivial. Why Alpaca? First, commission-free API trading, 0 fees on US stocks and ETF. Second, the paper trading is instant. You sign up and you get a $100,000 fake money account with 0 KYC to start. Third, it supports fractional shares. You can tell Claude, buy $50 of Apple, and it handles the math for the decimal shares. But the killer feature is the official MCP server. This drops straight into Claude Desktop, giving Claude trading hands without you writing a single line of Python. Go to alpaca.markets and sign up. Once you verify your email, head to your dashboard. Look for API keys and make sure you select paper first. Generate your keys and copy both the key ID and the secret key immediately. Label these clearly in your password manager as Alpaca paper. It is shockingly easy to accidentally fire a live order when you think you're on paper. Don't be that guy. Now we're going to give Claude Desktop its hands. We need to edit a file called Claude Desktop config.json. In the course notes, find the Alpaca MCP block. You're going to paste that into your config file. replacing the placeholders with your paper API keys. Make sure the line that says alpaca_paper is set to true. Once you save that file, restart Claude Desktop completely. Quit the app, then reopen it. This is the moment. We're going to give Claude a plain English prompt. Use Alpaca to buy $200 of NVDA at market on the paper account. Show me my balance first to confirm we're on paper, then place the order. Watch what happens on your screen. Claude will call the balance tool, verify the alpaca_paper flag is true, then fire the order. If you have your Alpaca dashboard open in a browser tab, you'll see that order appear in under a few seconds. From this, you can give Claude prompts for stocks plus ETF, fractional options, and more. You now have a system where you can manage your entire portfolio with natural language. You can ask for your daily P&L scan options chains for next Friday, or add Meta and Microsoft to a new AI watch list. In Module 12, we're going to take this a step further by combining this Alpaca data with your WEEX crypto positions to create a unified daily alpha brief. Your stock market engine is officially online. Now in this module is for the mode advanced traders. If you plan on trading global markets, futures, or Forex at a professional scale, you will eventually land at Interactive Brokers. While retail apps are great for getting started, IBKR is the end game broker. It gives you one login to trade nearly every major exchange on the planet, from New York to Tokyo. A quick warning, IBKR is a serious institution. Their KYC process takes about 2 to 3 business days for approval. If you're watching this right now, go sign up today. Everything else in this course still works while you wait for approval, and you can start on their paper trading account immediately. Go to interactivebrokers.com and open an account. Choose individual. The light version is for casual investors. Pro is the one that gives us the API access we need. Once you're approved and funded, you're ready to connect the machines. Unlike Wix or Alpaca, IBKR API requires their desktop software to be open and logged in on your machine. You can use the newer IBKR desktop or the classic Trader Workstation. For this course, I recommend TWS. It is the battle-tested gold standard for API. Once you're logged into TWS, go to Configuration, then API, and then Settings. Check the box that says Enable ActiveX and Socket clients. Uncheck Read-Only API. We need Claude to have trading hands. Take note of your socket port. It should be 7497 for paper and 7496 for live. The official IBKR API is notoriously difficult to code from scratch. That's why we use the IB InSync library. It's the Python wrapper that every serious retail algo trader actually uses. Go to your terminal and run this. In the notes below, you'll find a 25-line Python script. This is the moment we bridge the gap. We're going to run a script that connects to your local TWS session, identifies the Apple stock contract, and fires a buy order for 1 share. Run the script, and in under 2 seconds, you'll see the order fill inside your TWS dashboard. What's powerful here isn't just buying 1 share of Apple. It's that with 3 words of code, you can switch from stocks to S&P 500 futures or Forex pairs. You're now trading at the same level as the hedge funds. Right now, there isn't a native MCP for IBKR as stable as Alpaca's, but we don't need one. Because we've installed the IB-InSync library, we can simply ask Claude Code to write our scripts for us on demand. You can ask Claude, write a Python script to check my open positions and close any that have a loss of more than 3%. Claude writes it, you run it, and the job is done. One final rule for your Claude.md file. Always tell Claude to default to port 7497. Never assume you are on a live port unless you explicitly say so. Your professional bridge is built. You now have the crypto engine, the stock market engine, and the global pro tier engine all ready to go. In this module, we are officially moving into the execution layer. Up until now, we've been building the machine. Now we're giving it its first set of specialized skills. In this part of the course, we are installing the WEEX Trading Assistant. This isn't just a basic bot. This is a deep integration that allows Claude to open leverage futures, calculate position sizes based on risk math, and attach stop loss and take profit orders, all from a single sentence in plain English. Open your terminal, navigate to your Trading AI folder, and launch Claude Code. We're going to give Claude its first skill by pointing it to the repository. Copy and paste the install prompt from the notes. You'll watch Claude perform a git clone to pull the skill into its specialized folder, read the documentation, and summarize the tools it just learned. Once it's done, ask Claude. Check if the YTrader skill is installed and list its tools by category. You should see a menu of tools covering everything from account balance to market data and futures execution. Now, we need to feed Claude the WEEX credentials you saved in Module 5. The safest way to do this is through your shell configuration. Tell Claude, help me open my shell config file so I can add environment variables for the WEEX skill. Claude will identify whether you need to edit your ZSARC on Mac or your profile on Windows. You'll paste in your API key, secret, and passphrase. Once you save that file, reload your shell and relaunch Claude. Your machine is now authenticated and ready to trade. Let's test the connection. Give Claude this prompt. Use the WEEX skill to check my futures balance. Show equity, available margin, and unrealized P&L. Claude will reach out to the WEEX servers and return your real-time account data. If you see an unauthorized error, double-check your API secret and your IP whitelist from Module 5. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. We are going to execute a real risk-managed trade with one prompt. Check the current Bitcoin price, then calculate a position size for a long, where I risk exactly 2% of my portfolio with a 3% stop loss and 10 times leverage. Execute with SL and TP at 2.5 times my risk. Watch the terminal. Claude doesn't just guess. It fetches the price, checks your actual equity, does the math to find the exact number of contracts, fires the order, and then attaches the stop loss and take profit orders immediately. Keep in mind, this is a real trade. If you just want to watch, tell Claude to do a dry run only. The skill will show you the exact JSON it would have sent without actually spending $1. The WEEX Trading Assistant is now your 24/7 execution desk. It handles futures with up to 125 times leverage. It handles spot buying and selling. It generates daily reports and journals your trades. It can even copy a setup from a screenshot. Tone, finality. You just went from a retail trader to an AI augmented operator. I'll see you in Module 9, where we install the whale tracker and start hunting for alpha. In this module, we will plug into what I call the most valuable free dataset in all of crypto, on-chain whale activity on Hyperliquid. Here's the beauty of this skill. No API keys, no signups, no monthly subscriptions. Just pure public data piped directly into Claude Code. We're giving your AI the ability to look at the smartest money in the world and ask, what are they holding right now? Hyperliquid is a decentralized exchange where every single position is public. Entry prices, sizes, liquidations, it's all there. The whale tracker skill wraps that data into functions Claude can understand. Instead of spending hours digging through block explorers, you just ask in plain English, who is net long Bitcoin right now? And get an answer in seconds. First, we need one lightweight Python package called requests. This is what allows the skill to talk to the internet. Open your terminal and run this prompt. Now, let's install the skill. Go to this link and click Download Skill. Unzip the folder. We need to move it into your .claude/skills directory. Copy the commands from the notes below. There's one for Mac and a specific PowerShell version for Windows. Once that folder is moved, relaunch Claude Code. You've just given your assistant a set of on-chain eyes. Let's see it in action. This is the moment that usually goes viral. Drop this prompt into Claude. What are the top 20 whale traders doing on Hyperliquid right now? Give me their aggregate net exposure, the 3 most crowded longs, and any wallet that flipped direction in the last 24 hours. Keep it tight. I want to read this in 60 seconds. Watch as Claude parses thousands of data points, groups them by asset, and spits out a high signal report. You now know exactly where the smart money is positioned before you ever place a trade. In the notes, I've given you 7 signature prompts to steal. These are the exact ones I run every morning. Use smart money versus wrecked money to see where the winners and losers disagree. That is often where the asymmetric setup lives. Use the morning alpha scan to see what happened overnight while you were sleeping. Copy these into your claude.md file under a favorites heading. That way, they're always just one click away. Your workflow just changed forever. No more Twitter bias or guessing. You are building your trade ideas on hard data. You know what the whales hold before you decide your own direction. But research is only half the battle. You still need to see the charts. I'll see you in Module 10, where we give Claude control over your TradingView. In this module, we will unlock the single best skill in the entire course. We are installing the TradingView MCP. Up until now, Claude has been smart, but it's been blind. It had to rely on you to tell it what the charts look like. With these 78 new tools, Claude stops guessing and starts engineering. It can now read candles directly, write and debug PineScript v6, run backtests, and this is the game changer, auto-optimize your strategies while you go get a coffee. What does 78 tools actually mean? It means Claude can switch symbols and timeframes, add indicators, and pull the full report from the strategy tester. It doesn't just see a chart, it sees an editable canvas. If a strategy isn't working, Claude can iterate on the code and retest it until it finds a profit factor that meets your standards. Let's get the repo onto your machine. Open your terminal and run this prompt. During the install, you might see a playwright prompt. Say yes and let it install. This is the automation engine that allows Claude to drive the browser. Now we have to tell Claude where this server lives. You're going to open your .mcp.json file in your .claude folder and merge the block from the course notes. Make sure you replace the absolute path with the real location of the folder on your computer. If you're on a Mac, just type pwd inside the folder to get the exact string. This tells Claude, when I ask for a chart, use this specific engine to go get it. To let Claude control your charts, we have to launch a debug version of Chrome. The repo handles this for you with helper scripts. If you're on Mac, run this. If you're on Windows, use this. This will open a new Chrome window. Log into TradingView and keep this tab open. This is the bridge Claude uses to reach into the chart. Let's see the real power. We are going to ask Claude to not only write a strategy, but to brute force the best settings for us. Claude will write a dual EMA crossover strategy, then it will systematically run dozens of variations, changing the fast EMA, the slow EMA, and the ATR multiplier. It will rank them by profit factor and hand you the top 5 winning variants with their exact inputs. You just did a week's worth of manual backtesting in under 5 minutes. You now have 78 tools at your disposal. Your stack is complete. You have the reasoning core, the whale tracker for on-chain alpha, and the TradingView MCP for technical mastery. I'll see you in Module 11, where we combine all 3 into your daily alpha brief. Your agent can now read charts and track whales, but it's still missing one thing, the news. To trade at a high level, your AI needs to see what's happening on the open web, from CoinGecko and earnings calls to FOMC minutes and exchange blog posts. We're using Firecrawl because it does something incredible. It takes any messy URL and turns it into clean, machine-readable markdown. It strips away the ads and the clutter, handing Claude exactly the data it needs to make a decision. First, head over to firecrawl.dev. Create a free account. The free tier is more than enough to follow along with this course. Grab your API key. It'll start with FC-. Copy that key and put it into your password manager. We are about to wire it directly into your Claude desktop. Open Claude desktop. Inside this, you're going to merge the Firecrawl block from the course notes. Paste in your API key, save the file, and fully quit Claude desktop. You should now see new superpowers like Firecrawl Scrape, Crawl, and Search. Claude can now officially browse the internet. Let's prove the pipeline works. Give Claude this prompt. Use Firecrawl Scrape on the CoinGecko Bitcoin page and return the current price, 24-hour volume, and the top 3 exchanges. Watch how it works. Claude doesn't just guess the price based on its training data. It reaches out to the live site, reads the current numbers, and summarizes them for you in seconds. Firecrawl is powerful, but you have to use it strategically. If you need on-chain data, stick with the whale tracker. If you need price action, use the TradingView MCP. But if you need news, earnings reports, or project documentation, that's where you call Firecrawl. Don't waste your credit scraping static information like Wikipedia that Claude already knows. Use Firecrawl for live data that moves markets. I've included 3 prompts in the notes that are absolute game changers. Use the macro pulse to scrape the latest Federal Reserve statement and have Claude rate how hawkish it sounds on a scale of 1 to 10. Use the News Digest to pull the last 6 articles from a major crypto news site and summarize only the ones that could move the market in the next 24 hours. Your intelligence stack is officially complete. You have the reasoning core, the whale tracker, the chart vision, and now web access. In the next module, we are going to combine all of these into the holy grail of this course, the daily alpha brief. This is the moment everything you've installed starts talking to each other. We are moving past tools and into a system of intelligence. The daily alpha brief is a single master prompt that chains WEEX, the whale tracker, the TradingView MCP, and Firecrawl into one morning briefing. This isn't just a summary, it is the research loop that replaces your entire doom scroll routine. In under 2 minutes, it tells you exactly what to watch, why you're watching it, and what size you should trade. Up to this point, we focused on research. No trades fired. That's intentional. You want your agent to understand the market before it touches your money. The daily alpha brief provides 4 distinct layers of truth. The macro layer, Fed chatter and overnight news via Firecrawl. The on-chain layer, smart money positioning via the whale tracker. The technical layer, trend and support and resistance via TradingView. The portfolio layer, your current risk and available margin via the WEEX skill. When these 4 talk to each other, hallucination liquidations disappear. I provided the master prompt in the notes below. This is your daily ritual. When you paste this into Claude code, you're going to see a symphony of tool calling. Claude will scrape the headlines, aggregate whale exposure, read the 4-hour charts for Bitcoin and Solana, and check your actual account balance. It then synthesizes all of that into a single trade plan. It picks the highest conviction setup, sizes it based on your account risk, and outputs the exact order you need to place. We don't want to copy-paste this every morning. We want efficiency. Take that prompt and drop it into your claude.md file under the heading /dailyalpha. Now, you can just type /dailyalpha in your terminal, and Claude will execute the entire chain automatically. You've just turned a complex multi-tool workflow into a single keystroke. Once you've lived with this for a week, you can start upgrading the brief. You can pipe the text into 11 Labs so your AI reads the market to you while you're making coffee. You can ask Claude to assign a confidence score from 1 to 10 and only show you setups that are a 7 or higher. You can even have Claude append every brief to a markdown journal, making your research fully auditable over time. You're no longer a retail trader guessing at the next move. You are an operator running a professional research desk. The stack is live. The brief is running. In the next section of the course, we move into autonomous operations. I'll see you in the next module. Up until now, you've been the one triggering the AI. You type the command, Claude does the work. But the goal of this course is to build a system of intelligence that works while you sleep. Enter Claude routines. This is Anthropic's native cloud-hosted environment. You set a cron-style schedule, pick your tools, and Claude runs your logic in the background. It can email you a summary, fire an alert to your phone, or trigger an MCP side effect. This is the easiest way to make your daily alpha brief completely self-driving. Head over to this site, log in with your Pro or Max account. Keep an eye on your plan limits. As of 2026, Pro users get 5 routine runs per day, while Max users get up to 15. You want to budget these wisely. Don't run a research scan every 5 minutes if you're on a Pro plan. Save them for the high impact moments. Let's turn your Module 12 research into a routine. We'll set this to run every weekday at 7:30 a.m. so it hits your inbox before the market opens. Paste this routine setting. Paste the full master prompt from the previous module. Now, instead of you asking Claude for the news finds you. This routine is your radar. We'll set it to run every 2 hours, 24/7. The prompt is simple. Check the top 20 Hyperliquid wallets. Only reply if a top 10 wallet opens a position larger than $5 million or if a whale flips direction on Bitcoin. Tell Claude, if no criteria are met, reply with the word skip. This prevents your inbox from getting cluttered with nothing to report emails. You only get notified when there is actual blood in the water. This is the most important routine you'll ever set up. It's the safety net. Set this to run every hour during your active trading window. It pulls your open positions across WEEX, Alpaca, and interactive brokers. It calculates your total open risk and checks for any position missing a stop loss. If you've drifted past your 2% risk limit, Claude flags it immediately. It's the unsexy work that keeps you in the game. So, when do you use a routine versus a local script? Claude routines are perfect for read and report tasks. They require zero infrastructure and run even if your laptop is at the bottom of a lake. However, if you want to run arbitrary Python code or place complex, automated orders without a human in the loop, you'll need a VPS. We're going to build that pro tier setup in Module 24 using Hostinger. For now, set up your first 3 routines. Let the AI start doing the heavy lifting. In this module, you are going to ship a full PineScript version 6 strategy from plain English. We're going to add confluence filters, draw support and resistance automatically, and debug those frustrating red squiggles just by describing them out loud to Claude. We start with a clean sheet. Open your terminal, launch Claude Code, and give it the rules for a classic trend following setup. Claude doesn't just write the code in a text box. It uses the MCP to open the Pine editor on your screen, paste the code, and compile it. If there's an error, Claude sees it and fixes it before it ever hands the strategy back to you. A basic strategy is often too noisy. We need to filter for high probability environments. Tell Claude to take that same strategy and add confluence filters. We'll restrict trades to the London and New York sessions, ensure the daily trend is in our favor, and crucially require a minimum amount of volatility. Claude will update the code and show you side-by-side stats. You'll see exactly how those filters affected your profit factor and your drawdown. We aren't just guessing that a filter works, we're proving it with data. Claude can also handle the visual side of the chart. We can ask it to write an indicator that auto-detects the 5 strongest horizontal levels using pivots from the last 500 bars. Ask it to color support green and resistance red. In seconds, Claude writes the math, compiles the indicator, and publishes it directly to your live chart. You now have a custom-built technical analysis tool tailored to your specific style. When a script won't compile, stop Googling the error codes. Just copy the error message from the bottom of your TradingView screen and paste it into Claude. Claude uses the MCP to read the source code, identifies the root cause, whether it's a version mismatch or a syntax error, and recompiles the fix instantly. It's like having a senior PineScript developer sitting right next to you. Before you get excited about a backtest, run it through the honesty filter. Sample size. If the strategy has fewer than 100 trades, it's just noise. Costs. Always tell Claude to include commission and slippage in the settings. Real trading isn't free. Repainting. Ask Claude to verify that no look-ahead indicators are used. A strategy that knows the future on a backtest will blow up your account in the real world. You now have the power to engineer an edge from scratch. In this module, we are building your mobile control plane. We're going to use Telegram's BotFather, install the official Telegram plugin for Claude, and pair your phone. By the end of this video, your entire trading stack, the whales, the charts, and the brokers, will be accessible from a single chat window in your pocket. First, open Telegram and search for @BotFather. This is the official way to create bots. Send the command/newbot. Give it a name, something like Trading Ops. Give it a unique username that ends in the word bot. BotFather will hand you an API token. Copy that immediately and put it in your password manager. This is the key that lets Claude log into your Telegram account. Now, go back to your terminal and launch Claude Code. We're going to install the official plugin using /commands. Type /plugin install Telegram and then /reload-plugins. Finally, run the configuration command and paste in that token you just got from BotFather. You've just successfully linked the brain to the messenger. To make this work, we have to relaunch Claude with the Telegram channel attached. This allows messages to flow in both directions. Close your current Claude session and run the relaunch command from the notes. You'll see a message in your terminal saying the Telegram channel is active and waiting. Now, open Telegram on your phone. Find your new bot and hit start. Send it any message. Claude will print a 6-character pair code in your terminal. Paste that back into Claude to lock the connection. Then set the access policy to Allow List. This is critical. It ensures that only your paired phone can drive the agent. If anyone else finds your bot and tries to issue a trade, they'll be denied instantly. Let's see what this actually looks like in the real world. Imagine you're out for dinner and you want a whale flash. You just text the bot, any top 20 wallet flips in the last 2 hours? Claude scans the chain and texts you back in seconds. Want to check your book? Ask, what's open on WEEX right now? And get your P&L delivered as a message. You can even execute trades. Tell Claude, propose a Bitcoin long. Claude will do the math and wait. It won't fire until you reply with the word go. This human-in-the-loop safety rail is what keeps you from making accidental fat finger trades from your pocket. You are now a mobile-first operator. You have the full power of a professional research and execution desk, condensed into a chat app. In the next module, we're going to dive into advanced agentic workflows. This is the module where the thing actually trades. We are building the full automated pipeline. TradingView fires an alert, ngrok forwards it to your local server, and Claude acts as the final decision layer to place a risk-size order on WEEX. Fully automatic, fully auditable, no more manual entry. Think of this like a digital relay race. Your Pine script fires an alert with a JSON payload. The TradingView webhook sends that data to your ngrok URL. Your Flask receiver, a tiny Python server, catches the alert and triggers Claude. Claude, using the WEEX skill, reads the data, applies your risk rules, and fires the order. Consistency is everything in automation. We use a standardized JSON schema. It includes the symbol, the side, the price, and your specific risk parameters like leverage and stop loss percentages. Copy the schema from the notes. This is the language your alert will speak to Claude. We aren't going to write this Flask server line by line. We're going to let Claude scaffold it. Paste the prompt from section 16.3 into your terminal. Claude will create tv_webhook.py. This script does three things. It validates the incoming alert, logs it to a file, and then shells out to the WEEX skill to execute the trade. Notice that we aren't bypassing Claude. Claude remains the brain that decides exactly how to size the position before the order hits the exchange. TradingView lives in the cloud, but your Flask server lives on your laptop. To bridge that gap, we use ngrok. In your terminal, run ngrok http 5005. This creates a secure tunnel from the open web directly to your machine. Copy that ngrok-free-app URL. That is now your official webhook endpoint. Now go to your TradingView chart, open the strategy we built in Module 14 and click the alarm icon. In the message box, paste your JSON payload. In the webhook URL, paste your new ngrok address. Set the trigger to once per bar close. The first time your strategy conditions are met, the whole pipeline will fire. Do not scale this immediately. Run your first 10 alerts on a tiny $50 test account. Watch it place the entry, the stop loss, and the take profit correctly. Only once you've audited the logs and seen it work end to end do you move to your main book. You have just closed the loop. You are no longer chatting with an AI. You have built an autonomous execution engine that responds to market data in real time. In the next module, we're going to look at one of the most profitable corners of the market, prediction markets. This is where things get truly interesting. We are moving beyond price action and into the world of prediction markets. This is the home of the legendary $3 million bot, and today we're building our own. Prediction markets allow you to bet on real-world outcomes, politics, Fed decisions, even the weather. We're going to use Polymarket, which runs on Polygon using USDC, and Kalshi, the US regulated venue. We're going to build a sovereign analyzer that uses Claude Opus 4.7 to research the news, calculate the odds, and stake real bets. Polymarket is the global giant. It handles billions in monthly volume. Because it's decentralized and uses a central limit order book, it has the deepest liquidity for crypto and pop culture events. Kalshi is the pro-tier CFTC regulated venue. It's funded in US dollars and is the gold standard for macro events like CPI prints and Federal Reserve meetings. Both offer open APIs, which means Claude can price shop between them to find the best edge. Let's get your credentials ready. For Polymarket, connect your MetaMask or Coinbase wallet and fund it with USDC on the Polygon network. You'll need to copy your private key and your wallet address into your .env file. Then install the client by running pip install prompt. For Kalshi, complete your KYC and fund it with USD. You'll need to generate an RSA key pair in their API settings. Install their SDK with pip install prompt as well. Now, the main event. We are going to live build analyzer.py using Claude code. We're telling Claude to build a script that takes a Polymarket URL as an input. It will fetch the current odds, then use Claude Opus 4.7 with the web search enabled to find the latest news. Claude will then return a JSON response with a yes or no decision and a confidence score. Notice the confidence gate. We tell the bot if confidence is high, bet $5. If it's medium, bet $2. If it's low, skip it entirely. This gate is what prevents your bot from overtrading on noise. The real alpha lives in the gaps. Polymarket and Kalshi often list the same event, like will the Fed cut rates in June, at different prices. We use the PMXT library to unify both markets. This allows Claude to see both order books at once. If one market is at 60 cents and the other is at 65, your bot can buy the cheap side and lock in a nearly risk-free profit. Before you go live, keep your dry run flag set to true. Watch the logs for a few days. Arbitrage looks pristine in a screenshot, but in the real world, gas fees and slippage eat your margin. You now have an agent that understands the world as well as it understands the charts. We have spent this course building a deep, custom infrastructure. But sometimes you just want to test a theory now. You want to go from an idea in your head to a live order on the exchange in under 120 seconds. That is what Agent PNL is for. It is the absolute easiest way to get a WEEX trading agent running. You write your strategy in plain English, pick your model, and hit start. Your bot trades WEEX perpetuals on its own, and its performance shows up live on a public leaderboard. The best part? You don't have to take anyone's word for it. Every bot on the Agent PNL leaderboard is verifiable directly on the WEEX exchange. You aren't looking at a photoshopped screenshot. You can click through to the actual trade logs. It's a level of transparency that is rare in the world of crypto bots. Let's do a live run. Head over to agentpnl.io, connect your WEEX account using those API keys we generated back in Module 5. Now for the strategy. You don't need to code. Just paste your logic in plain English. Pick your model, Claude 3.5. Sonnet is the gold standard here. Hit start. That's it. Your bot is now live. It's scanning the markets, managing your risk, and its P&L is streaming to the leaderboard in real time. Even if you prefer building your own custom Python bots, Agent PNL is a massive asset for 3 reasons. The benchmark. You can compare your custom strategies against public bots running on the same venue. The sandbox. It's the perfect place to paper test a new idea without setting up any of your own servers. Social Alpha. The leaderboard is a live read on what's actually working in the current market. If a specific bot is crushing it, you can study its logic and even copy trade it. Now, let's be real about the trade-offs. Because this is a no-code platform, it's less flexible than the custom Python agents we build later in the course. If you need 10 different data sources and a complex MCP stack, you'll outgrow this. Also, remember, your strategy is running on their servers, not yours. Now that you've seen the easiest way to trade WEEX, let's look at the powerhouse for Hyperliquid. If WEEX is our primary crypto home, Hyperliquid is our primary on-chain home. To dominate the ecosystem, you need a specialist. Enter Senpi. Senpi is a turnkey personal trading agent built specifically for Hyperliquid. It packs 44 specialized MCP tools, persistent memory, and built-in Telegram alerts. This system has already processed over $100 million in volume. Under the hood, it's powered by OpenClaw, but today we're going to focus on getting it live in minutes. The easiest way to keep Senpi running 24/7 is via Railway. 1. Go to senpi.ai and generate an authorization token. 2. Head over to railway.app and use the Senpi template. 3. You'll need to fill in 6 environment variables, including your OpenRouter key and your Hyperliquid private key. Set your strategy parameters to a conservative 1% risk and 5 times leverage while you're testing. Once you hit deploy, Railway builds the agent in the cloud. You can close your laptop and Senpi will stay on the hunt. If you prefer to keep your keys on your own machine, you can install the Senpi skill bundle directly into Claude Code. Open your terminal and clone the repository. Copy the skills into your specialized .Claude skills directory and relaunch Claude. You now have the exact same 44 tools, from opportunity scanners to wallet trackers, available right in your local terminal. Let's see what 44 specialized tools can actually do. Ask Senpi to rank every trader by ROI and consistency. It doesn't just look at P&L, it looks at the quality of the trading. Run the opportunity scanner to see which assets have smart money accelerating up the ranks. Or go full alpha and ask Senpi to build a copy trading strategy that mirrors the top 3 traders on the leaderboard with a 5% safety stop. You aren't just trading against the market anymore. You are standing on the shoulders of the most profitable giants in the ecosystem. Senpi also features a weekly arena. This is where agents go head to head. Every trade you make earns you points. 2 points for every dollar volume. Even if you don't care about the prizes, watch the arena replays. It is the best way to see how top-tier AI agents reason under extreme market pressure. It's a masterclass in agentic logic. You now have a dedicated Hyperliquid specialist. Whether it's running in the cloud or on your desk, you have the most advanced tools available for on-chain trading. In the next module, we're going to look at Hermes, the framework that allows your agents to learn and grow on their own. We've built execution bots and research assistants, but now we're installing the professor of our stack. Hermes is an open source Python framework from Noose Research. It has nearly 100,000 stars on GitHub and a massive community behind it. But for us, only one feature matters: persistent memory. While other agents might forget what you talked about yesterday, Hermes remembers your prompts, your trade history, and your journals across every single session. It is the most alive feeling agent in this entire course. Let's get Hermes onto your machine. We're going to use the official setup script because it handles the heavy lifting. It installs a tool called UV for speed, creates a virtual environment, and links the Hermes command line interface directly to your system. Open your terminal and clone the repo. Run this prompt. Once that's done, you can call Hermes from anywhere on your machine just by typing its name. Now, run Hermes setup. This is where we wire the brain. Select OpenRouter as your provider. Use the same master key we generated in Module 4. Pick Claude Sonnet 4.6 as your default model. Finally, enable the Telegram gateway. One of Hermes' unique strengths is its flexibility. If you don't like Telegram, you can bridge Hermes into Discord, Slack, or even WhatsApp. It meets you wherever you do your work. There are 4 commands you need to know. Hermes. It drops you into a live conversation where memory is always active. Hermes tools. This is where you add or remove capabilities. Hermes gateway. This starts the bridge to your messaging apps. Hermes doctor. If an integration fails or a key goes missing, run the doctor. It's the fastest way to diagnose your system. By default, Hermes is a standard agent. To make it self-learning, we need to edit the config file. Open your config.toml and flip persistent memory and skill generation to true. Now, when Hermes successfully completes a complex task, like writing a new arbitrage script, it saves that logic as a reusable skill. It literally gets smarter the more you use it. You might be wondering, if I have Claude code, why do I need Hermes? 2 reasons. First, open runtime. If Anthropic ever hits you with rate limits on a high volatility day, Hermes keeps running through any of the 300 models on OpenRouter. Second, the journal. Hermes is built to store long-term trade journals. It can look back at 6 months of your trades and identify patterns in your behavior that you might have missed. You now have an agent that doesn't just trade, it studies. In the next module, we're going to look at the engine behind it all, OpenClaw. We are now looking at the titan of the ecosystem. OpenClaw is the largest open source Claude compatible agent runtime on the planet. As of April 2026, it has over 360,000 stars on GitHub, a massive plugin marketplace called ClawHub, and a high-performance TypeScript design. But with massive reach comes massive risk. In March of 2026 alone, 9 major security vulnerabilities were disclosed, including remote code execution. Even worse, independent audits found that up to 20% of the plugins on ClawHub are shipping malware or credential stealers. In this module, we're going to benefit from this massive ecosystem while ensuring your trading keys never leave your machine. OpenClaw is a Node.js-based system. Run the install command in your terminal, but pay attention to the versioning. Never track the latest version in a production environment. That is how supply chain attacks reach you. Pick a known good, stable version, like the one listed in the course notes, and pin it. When you run OpenClaw Start, the onboarding wizard will walk you through your OpenRouter keys and messaging channels. Before you install a single plugin, you need to understand the threats. Threat Class A is credential theft. Agents have to read your .env files and wallet keys to work. A malicious plugin can stream those keys to a remote server in milliseconds. Threat Class B is unauthorized trades. A charting plugin that asks for exchange permissions could drain your entire WEEX account while you're asleep. Treat ClawHub like a dark alley marketplace. Do not install anything blindly. From this point forward, you follow a strict checklist for every plugin. Verify publishers only. Only install plugins with the blue check badge. Permission scrutiny. If a newsreading plugin asks for shell access, it is a virus. Deny it. Sandbox everything. Never run OpenClaw on your main development account. Run it as a dedicated, low-privilege user on your machine. If managing security patches sounds like a full-time job you don't want, use OneClaw. This is the Manage Our SaaS version of the platform. The core team handles the CVE patches and audits the plugin shelf for you. You lose some open source street cred, but you gain a dramatically smaller attack surface for your money. Here is the ultimate pro move. You don't have to choose between security and features. You can use Hermes, which is Python-based and safe, as your brain, and use OpenClaw only as a specialist tool for specific plugins. By using the Agent Communication Protocol, or ACP, you can run them side by side. You simply allow list the specific, verified OpenClaw plugins that Hermes is allowed to talk to. This is defense in depth. Even if an OpenClaw plugin goes rogue, it physically cannot touch the rest of your system. You now have the keys to the largest AI agent library in existence. And more importantly, you have the armor to survive it. In the next module, we're going to look at advanced prompt engineering to make these agents even sharper. Trying to get one giant prompt to handle research, risk, and execution is exactly how accounts get blown up. In a real production environment, you don't use a generalist, you use specialists. Today, we are separating the job into 3 distinct agents. We'll use OpenClaw as the orchestrator to coordinate the plan, and Hermes as the executor to handle the repeatable loops. They'll talk to each other over the ACP protocol. Together, they form a risk guardian system that protects your capital while you hunt for alpha. We're building a 3-person team inside your machine, the alpha scanner. This agent reads the chain data, the charts, and the news. It outputs ranked trade ideas as JSON, but crucially, it is physically incapable of placing an order. The Risk Guardian, this is a stateless veto layer. It checks your total risk and looks for news blackouts like an upcoming Fed meeting. It only has 2 words in its vocabulary: approve or reject. The Execute WEEX signal, this agent only listens to the Guardian. If and only if a signal is approved, it calls the WEEX skill to fire the trade. For these agents to work together, they need to speak the same language. We use a standardized signal JSON shape. It contains everything: the entry, the stop, the confidence score, and the rationale. Because both Claude and Hermes validate this schema before acting, hallucinated trades are filtered out at the door. If the data doesn't fit the shape, the machine doesn't move. In the course notes, I provided the system prompts for all 3. Your alpha scanner is programmed to run every 30 minutes. Your risk guardian is the enforcer. It rejects any trade if your total account risk is over 6% or if there's a major CPI report in the next 90 minutes. Your executor is the soldier. It doesn't generate ideas, it just follows orders that have been stamped with a Guardian approved status. Now, where do these agents live? OpenClaw runs the Alpha Scanner and the Risk Guardian. It's the perfect orchestrator for pulling from Firecrawl and TradingView. For the Guardian, we can even use a smaller model like Haiku 4.5. It's fast, cheap, and more than enough for logic checks. Hermes runs the execution agent. Because Hermes has a learning loop, it actually gets better at hitting your fills and managing the WEEX skill the more it trades. All 3 communicate over the ACP bridge we built in Module 21. This setup allows you to fan out your signals to multiple channels. You could have a private Telegram for your own trades and a public alpha feed for your community, all driven by the same brain. You have transitioned from a single bot to a sovereign trading desk. Your risk is managed, your execution is specialized, and your research is automated. In the next module, we're going to look at the custom code layer, the CCXT bridge. Agents are incredible for research and complex decision making, but for the tight inner loop, the moment-to-moment check of price just ticked, should I move my stop? You want old school optimized code. In this module, we're going to use Claude code to scaffold a professional grade Python bot. It will be type tested and production ready. It uses the WEEX skill for the heavy lifting and handles the logic gates itself. This is the bridge between AI creativity and software stability. Our shopping list is built for global access. We use CCXT, which allows you to swap between WEEX, Binance, or Kraken with a single line of code. We include Pydantic for data validation and Logaru for structured logs. This ensures that if the bot does something unexpected, you have a clear, searchable trail of exactly why it happened. We aren't just creating a single file. We are building a professional directory structure. I provided a master prompt in the notes that tells Claude to scaffold the entire project, from the strategy layer to the risk guardian and the execution wrapper. Claude will generate the models, wire the data fetcher, and create a makefile. This means you don't have to remember complex commands. You just type make test or make run paper. Notice that we require the bot to pass its own unit test before we even attempt to run it. If the risk rules aren't working in the test, the bot won't launch. In professional trading, safety isn't a feature, it's the foundation. Default paper, your bot will default to live equals false. You have to manually flip a toggle and set an environment variable to risk a single dollar. The daily kill switch. If your total loss for the day hits 3%, the bot is programmed to flatten all positions and exit. It protects you from yourself. The heartbeat. Every time the loop runs, the bot sends a one-line status to your Telegram. If your phone goes silent, you know immediately that something is wrong. Once Claude finishes the scaffold, it's time for the first run. Move into your bot directory and run make install, then make test. If you see all green, you are ready for make run paper. Let this run for at least 48 hours in paper mode. Review every single log entry. Check every simulated fill. Make sure the risk guardian rejected the trades it was supposed to. Only once the logs are boring and the math is perfect do you even think about going live. You now have a professional Python trading engine. It's clean, it's fast, and it's built to be managed by you and Claude as a team. Now that your bot is built, we need a place for it to live 24/7. Your laptop is not a production environment. If your Wi-Fi drops or your battery dies, your bot dies with it. To trade like a professional, your code needs to live in a hardened data center with 99.9% uptime. In this module, we are moving your bot to a Hostinor KVM2 VPS running Ubuntu 24.04. We are going to harden your SSH access, lock down the firewall, and wrap your bot in a system service so it auto restarts if it ever crashes. Head over to this link. I recommend the KVM2 plan. This is more than enough to run your bot plus multiple Claude code sessions. When choosing a data center, think about latency. Set a strong root password, but don't get too attached to it. We're going to disable it in the next step. The second your IP address hits the public internet, malicious bots will start knocking on your door. We are going to lock it down immediately. Create a dedicated user named Trader. Upload your SSH public key from your laptop. Disable root login and password authentication. By doing this, even if someone guesses your password, they can't get in. Only your physical laptop carrying your unique key has the badge required to enter this server. Finally, enable the UFW firewall and only allow port 22 for your secure connection. Now log in as your new Trader user, update the system, and install the Python 3.12 runtime. You're going to clone your trading repository, create a fresh virtual environment, and install your requirements. Copy your .env file from your laptop to the server. Now take that VPS public IP address and go back to your WEEX API settings. Whitelist this specific IP. This is your final layer of security. Your API keys will now refuse to work from any computer on Earth, except this one specific server. We don't want to run the bot manually in a terminal window. We want it to be a system service. We're going to create a system unit file. This tells Ubuntu, this bot is a priority. If the server reboots, start the bot. If the bot crashes, wait 5 seconds and restart it. Once you reload the daemon and hit start, your bot is officially a daemon, a background process that breathes on its own. Now that the bot is invisible in the background, how do you see what it's doing? You use journal.ctl. Type this. This gives you a live streaming view of your bot's heartbeat. Every trade, every risk check, and every API call shows up here in real time. Your laptop is now just a remote control. Your bot is live in a professional data center. In our final module, we're going to build the glass cockpit, the personal trading dashboard. You've done it. You've built the engine, the radar, the brain, and the safety net. But looking at 12 different terminal windows and browser tabs is not how a professional operator works. You need one pane of glass. In this final module, we are building your LiveOps dashboard. We'll start by bootstrapping a high-performance HTML skeleton with the WEEX skill. Then we'll fold in every other piece of the stack, from Alpaca stocks to your whale tracker data, until you have a real-time glass cockpit for your entire trading empire. We're going to let Claude Code do the heavy lifting here. Use the prompt in the notes to generate a single-page dashboard. We aren't using heavy frameworks like React or Vue. We want speed. We're going with vanilla JavaScript, a dark theme to match our course aesthetic, and JetBrains Mono for the numbers because precision matters. This dashboard will auto-refresh every 30 seconds, showing your equity curve, your open positions, and your most recent signals from the log files. Once the skeleton is live, we start plugging in the rest of the course. One prompt at a time, you'll ask Claude to add an Alpaca panel for your US stocks, add a whale pulse to see what the smart money is doing without leaving the page, add a heartbeat panel that monitors your VPS. If that dot turns red, you know your bot has stopped. Add your Senpi and agent PNL stats so you can see how your autonomous agents are performing. You're not just building a website, you're building a sovereign intelligence hub. Now, where does this live? If you want it for your eyes only, serve it from your Hostinger VPS using Caddy and lock it behind your IP address. If you want a fast global URL, push it to Netlify. If you want to turn this into a business, you can anonymize the data and gate the dashboard behind a WAP tier. Your proof room becomes a $29 a month subscription that sells itself. Take a look at what has changed in your life. You went from 12 browser tabs and doom scrolling Twitter for entries to one single URL. Every morning, the daily alpha brief hits your inbox while you're still in bed. Your custom bot handles the inner loop execution with a built-in risk guardian, and your dashboard shows you the results in real time. You are no longer playing the markets. You have engineered a professional advantage. Your computer is now a high-frequency workstation, and your agents are your employees. The rest of the day is yours. Congratulations. You have completed the Trading AI full course. Now, go out there and execute. A few hours ago, this was a blank laptop. Now it is a professional-grade AI trading stack. You have the research brain, the execution hands, the risk guardian, 3 brokers, and a custom bot running in the cloud. This is the shortest module in the course because the work is done. This is the one that tells you exactly what to do tomorrow morning. Let's look at the empire you just built. You have Claude code dialed in. Your WEEX and Alpaca accounts are live. Interactive Brokers is bridged. You've installed the whale tracker, the TradingView MCP, and your daily alpha brief. You have cloud routines running your research, webhooks automating your trades, a custom bot hardened on a Hostinger VPS, and a live ops dashboard that unifies everything. You didn't just watch a course, you shipped a production system, a quick moment of transparency. Every tool in this course from WEEX to Hostinger pays me a referral when you use my links. That's how I'm able to keep this content high velocity and high production. When you start shipping your own strategies or building your own versions of this course, you should do the same. These are the tools we actually use. They are the backbone of the industry. This is the most important part of the course. This is how your life changes tomorrow morning. You've successfully delegated the grunt work of trading to the machines. If you want everything I showed you today, every prompt, every skill code, every setup guide, it is all inside my private group. Link is in the description. First link. Everything is in there. If you found this useful, leave a like. It genuinely does help the channel. Subscribe if you have not already. The system is live. The edge is yours. Now go out there and execute. I'll see you at the top of the leaderboard.
You're watching charts, losing sleep, missing setups, while bots with no emotions take the trades you should have taken. Trading is math. Humans feel. That's the whole problem. AI doesn't hesitate, doesn't revenge trade, doesn't freeze at the 2 a.m. liquidation candle. It just executes the plan every single time. Inside AI Trade Edge, I give you the full stack: autonomous trading agents, back-tested strategies, plug-and-play templates, new tools every week. Not theory, real agents, running while you sleep, while you're at the gym, while everyone else is still watching YouTube tutorials. Every week you wait, someone with worse charts and better systems profits. AI Trade Edge. First 100 spots, $79.99 a month, locked in forever. After that, the price goes up, permanently. Stop watching, start executing, trade smarter with Alex Carter. Join now.